you are not using your iPad to its full potential. Apple quietly gave you a free app that's more powerful than Notion, GoodNotes, and even Canva for creative planning. And chances are you never opened it. It's called Freeform, and today I'm showing you how to turn it into your ultimate visual thinking machine. Stick around to the end where I'm literally going to show you how you can use Freeform like a pro. Freeform is your digital blank universe. You can sketch, write, drag in photos, record voice memos, drop those PDFs, anything all on in one infinite canvas. Most note taking apps force your ideas into rigid boxes, but Freeform lets them breathe. Your brain thinks visually, and now your iPad does too. I've used it for content concepts, brain dumps, client workflows, mood boards, and it has become my go to tool when I want to get it out of my head and sketch it onto a white blank canvas with no rules and no pressure. So let's go ahead and set up your first board inside of Freeform. All right, once you open Freeform, it's going to give you all your boards on the left. So you have your navigation system, and they have not given us the ability to create folders as yet, but I do hope that that is coming soon because I would like to organize my boards into folders based on if it's personal projects, whether it's client projects, or whether it's creative projects. So if you want to create a new board, to the top here, you're going to tap on this little square with the pencil. This actually opens up a new canvas, and to the top, you have the option to rename, add it to favorites. It does give you the option to export and so forth. You also have your tools appearing to the center of the canvas. This gives you the share button that allows you to collaborate, share, and so forth. And then you have the three dots that allow you to do your alignment settings. You can do your math results. You can also have freeform help. And once, because I'm using the Apple Pencil, it's going to automatically activate the pen tool. And here I have a ton of different pen tools that I can work with to start creating. You have your connectors to the left here, turn on, turn off, and you have your grid. I like to use the grid because when I'm writing on a blank canvas, I can go upward and not straight. Then to the bottom here, you have your zoom, which allows you to fit to content, zoom in or out. Usually it's set to 100. So as you build more on the canvas, because it's an infinite canvas, there's so much that you can actually put on it. You can zoom. But one of the great features I really love about Freeform that it does allow you to create a navigation system on the canvas. And where you have this star here is where you can literally create scenes. And creating scenes is where you actually jumping from one area of your canvas to another. So this is basically the entire layout of your freeform. It's a blank canvas. There is no pressure. You can just simply start brain dumping inside of freeform. Right? So also, if you want to start dragging and dropping pictures and other elements, you can simply press this and it does allow you to add links, choose a file, and so forth. So the first thing we're going to do, we're going to try to create a brainstorming board. So the first thing I'm going to do, I'm going to divide this canvas into three sections. I want to have an inspo section. I want to have a ID section, and then I want to have a goal section. So that would be the actual template, right? So there are different types of shapes that you can actually use. Again, this is great if you're doing flowcharts. I have used Freeform for flowcharts as well, especially if I am outlining an automated client onboarding workflow. I would use Freeform for this. So in this case, I'm going to choose this, right? And what you will find that sometimes I'm going to use either my hands or the pencil depending on what I'm doing. So I'm going to try and bring this out a little, and I may want to have a color scheme. So if I tap on it, I can edit it, and there are other options that are here. I can change the shape, I can change the style, and all the other things. I'm going to tap on edit, And this actually allows me to change the color. So I'm going to tap here and I'm going to kind of stay within just maybe 2 colors, right? I can also add the text here. I can increase the size. I would just put it at maybe 6 of 4, right? And so, and I can also choose a default font. So if I tap in here, all right, so once I double tap, it's going to bring up the keyboard. So I'm going to call this inspo. So this is my inspo section. Now there are 2 ways I could have done this. Or inspired section, they automatically did that. And again, Apple Intelligence is working on this. You can make this as big or small as you want. Again, this is your plain space to be as creative as possible. All right. I can also tap on this and I can duplicate it and I can drag it over here. Just bring this down a little. Double tap on that again. So this is going to be my ID section. And I may want to change the color of the ID. I may put it in pink. I'm going to duplicate this. I'm going to drag this over here. So again, you can become super creative with this, right? Now, the good thing, if you don't like the default colors, you can always go in here, explore other colors. I'm going to tap here and I'm going to call this goals. It's just an example. All right. So there I have it. Now I can also do the connectors. If you're doing flowcharts, this is going to be super easy. So I can simply tap on this arrow and just drag it. And this is how I would actually connect each box. So if I'm doing flowchart, this is how it would actually do. I get my inspiration. I have ideas and then what are the goals for that piece of brainstorming or that piece of idea that I want to bring forth. All right. So this is just like a beginning stage. Now there are so many different elements that you can actually create and add into this. So the first thing, we looked at shapes. You can type inside of it, you can connect it to another, and now you're starting to create your visual concept map. Okay. Now this is where Freeform actually shines. Feels like you're thinking directly onto the screen, and this is what I really love about it, because it just gives you that blank canvas and you can be super creative with it. When it comes to organizing your content visually, maybe you have ideas, you want to put it into a different concept and you want to see it visually. For a lot of us who are visual thinkers, this is where Freeform hits another level. So here is where now you can literally drop different elements into the board. So we looked at shapes. You can actually do typing. So this does give you the ability to add text, right? So I can either type and add text. So I can double tap and I can call this my brainstorming ideas. So these are my brainstorming ideas. Again, just like the boxes, we can edit it where we can actually change out the font. We can bold this, all right? I may want it to impact. I may want to increase the size, right? And so that's where, so some additional features I can actually do if I want to do like a highlight. I can actually put like a highlight there. So you can literally make this in, be creative with it. Also have the option to add sticky notes. So if there's some key things that you may want to put in, you can do so. So with the sticky notes, I can put sticky notes on there every area here. Maybe. And notice I'm getting guides. All right. Notice I'm getting guides here. So that allows me to have good precision with sizing of the different elements. But again, if you're now starting out, you can just begin to just work. Don't worry about it looking super pretty or anything. You can just start working on your own flow. All right. Now, also, it does give you the option where you can actually write on the sticky notes. You can either type. So it does give you the option to type, and it also gives you the option to write on it directly using the pencil. So I can have, and notice as I'm typing, you're noticing that the words are refining. This is the auto refine feature that comes with iPad OS 18 as well as iPad OS 26. I am using iPad OS 26. So these can be like little notes to myself. And again, it can be if you're creating a workflow, these can be like instructional pieces that you are giving maybe to your team, or if you're like me who need to remember why is it I did this area here, you can simply put this in, right? As a rule of thumb is when you are brain dumping or brainstorming, yes, it's good to create structure. I'm a person that loves structure. But if you're now getting started with Freeform and you just want a place to just let all your creative ideas and everything out of your brain onto a piece of canvas or paper, don't be pressured into creating structure. Just let it out, and then later on you can organize it in a way that is easy for you to flow in, right? So that is a piece of pro tip, right? There are other elements that I can put in. I can choose photos or videos. I can take one. I can actually work with image playground, right? So there are many different expressions and options. So I can say uh this might be fantasy, and maybe taking pictures, right? Right, so it's thinking, and so if you tap, it's going to show you different options. So I can have an idea of what a visual may actually look like, and I can put it in here. It can be an animation, it can be illustration, and it can also be a sketch, or you can use Chat GPT. Right, so if I choose sketch, so what this actually looks like, right? If it's something like this I need, I can tap on done. Right, and so this might be my right, so this may be my let's say for example an inspiration using the image playground. Also I can choose a photo, so I may have different things. I may have a concept that I want to bring in from my own gallery, so this can maybe also be or serve as inspiration. So I can put this in here. You can, again, you can put in anything, whether it's photos. It does give the option to do photos, videos, screenshots. It all lives together in the canvas. um you can choose a file, you can add a link, you can also do stickers if you want to do stickers. I do have some custom stickers that I created. So there's a ton of different things that I can do. So I can put my sticker up here. Right. So there are a ton of different things that I can do. And the good thing about it, you can start on your iPad, you can continue building to this on your iPhone, and you can also take it to your MacBook and you can refine it, especially if you're doing workflows, right? So I can add a link if there's a specific link that I may be researching and I want to use it as a reference point. So basically, what I would do, I can go into Safari, let's say, for example, and let's say it's this site, tap and hold. I will copy, all right? And then I can say, well, okay, I need to add this link, tap and hold. I'm going to paste that. I'm going to tap on insert. All right. And it's literally going to bring in like a preview of that link. Right. So it would be a preview of that link. Also, you can, for example, I can remember I did one for my podcast where, and I'm showing you this as an example. So I had like a mood board. I was doing my research. So this is my like my creative flow hub. So I did my research. I took my newsletter article, and I turned it into a podcast because I wanted to expand and share a little more on it. So this was the video for it. This was the article that it was birthed out to. This is what the planning of it looks like. This is what I wanted the um I shared what the outline is and also what production actually looks like. And final publication was an actual copy of the podcast episode, made my notes and what I wanted to share on to social. And so this is a great way in which you can actually plan your content. Again, you can be super, super creative with this. I'm just giving you an idea of some of the potential that Freeform can actually do for you. All right. Now, if you're that person who needs to sketch out your rough videos, or you want to drop your brand guide into it, or you want to use sticky notes for hooks and call to actions and all of that, you can literally put it using the different features and tools inside of Freeform. So for file, if I go into the iCloud, I can go to my, let's say, for example, one of my transcripts. I can open it up, right? And this would actually show what that transcript looks like. If I want to open it, I just simply tap on it and it will open up like this. I tap the X and I close it and it's going to be like this, all right? And so I can do multiple things. One of the features I would like to see in here is voice recording, because sometimes I may not want to do it like this. So I may want to actually add in voice notes or voice memos. And I know that that feature is going to come at some point. They will bring that feature at some point in to Freeform, but that would be a great addition to adding to Freeform. When it comes, like, again, you see your blank canvas, again, this is infinite, so you can start adding as much in sections and areas that you want. You can zoom in and zoom out to see to see the full picture of whatever it is. You can group related content. You can move it all into one block like I'm showing you to do. So it allows you to scale your ideas more visually. If you're ready to use Apple Freeform like a pro, here are some tips. First things first, the thing that grinds my gears is not naming your boards. When you come into Freeform, you should be able to identify different boards. And again, this is why I say they need to give us the ability to actually create some amount of folder structure on the left. But in the meantime, between time, what you can do is name your boards. Do not create boards and just have them as untitled. You will have untitled 42 isn't going to help when it comes to being productive and also being organized. That is not going to help. So, whatever is the board, you're going to name it. All right, I'm going to tap on done. So once I come in here, I know exactly what a board is. Now, the next thing is that you can literally search for key things inside of the different boards. Now, as you're building more boards and you remember, like, oh, I did have a concept or so, you can literally find where that board is. So let's say, for example, I knew I created a board or I created something inside of Freeform talking about setting boundaries. So to the top right, I'm going to hit on search and I'm going to type in setting boundaries. And it's literally going to tell me which board setting boundaries is. It's going to search for the text that is inside of the board. And I think this is super, super cool, especially if you're creating multiple boards. And again, you may just have one or two keywords that you have placed inside of the boards. That is going to be super helpful for you to easily identify where your items are. You can also export this. Let's say, for example, you and your team worked on a pitch or a visual concept and you want to submit it for review, or you want to have a print out of it, you can actually export it as a PDF. So once you export it as a PDF, you can save it to your files. And in this case, I'm going to import it to UPDF, which is my PDF editor. And so here is a PDF version of it. And so I can make notes here. I can jot down my notes, right? I can jot down my notes, make my reviews. All right. And if I want, I can also send it back to my team. So this is great for creating that workflow and synergy around your different apps as well if you have team members as well. All right. There is another feature I want to show you when it comes to navigation. You can create your own navigation system. And this is the final bonus tip for Freeform. So it makes it easy for you to scroll to a certain area, especially if this becomes a lot of stuff. So to the bottom here where you have this star here, you're going to tap on it and you can create what is called scenes. All right. So it can be this area and this might be my inspired area. So I'm going to tap on add scene. All right. And then I can move to the ideas area, zoom in on that, tap, add scene. And then I can move to the goals area, tap, add scene. All right. So I can come back in here and I can go to the different areas of there. And it's literally going to take me to different parts of my board. And I think this is super helpful. And you can also rearrange it. You can also export or print your scenes as PDFs as well, right? And you can also rename your scenes based on the area. All right, so in this case, I will call scene 1 inspo. Hit on tab. So I know when I go to here is going to the inspired section. And I think this is really, really cool when creating navigation system inside of Apple Freeform. And so this is how you get started with Apple Freeform. Now you know how to turn Freeform from a hidden app to a creative powerhouse. Start with one board, make it yours. No structure, no pressure. If this sparked new ideas, make sure to hit like and subscribe and turn on your notification for more iPad productivity hacks. And tell me in the comments, what are you going to be building first? Is it a mood board? Is it a visual plan or a vision plan? Is it a content planner? Let me know in the comments. And I will see you in the next video where we make tech work for us and not against us.